Welcome back to Security for Legal SaaS. I'm Alice.
And I'm Dan, episode 51, and this one feels very current. AI agents writing code. Copilot, Cursor, Claude Code, Amazon Q. Developers describe what they want in plain English, and an AI writes the code. Alice, we've talked about threats from attackers, from misconfiguration, from human error. But what happens when the thing writing your code is itself a risk?
It's a fundamentally different threat model. A human developer might introduce a bug because they're tired or they don't know better. An AI agent can generate code that looks perfect. Clean syntax, good structure, reasonable variable names, and has a subtle security flaw baked in. Not because the AI is malicious, but because it's optimizing for code that looks right, not code that is provably secure. It's a probabilistic model. It generates the most likely next token. And most likely is not the same as most secure.
So what kinds of flaws are we talking about?
The most novel one is something called slot splying. Here's how it works. You ask an AI to write a Python script. The AI says, install this library called Flask-Auth Helper. You go to install it, and it doesn't exist. The AI made it up. It hallucinated a package name. Now, here's where it gets dangerous. Researchers at the University of Texas studied over 500,000 AI-generated code samples from 16 different language models. Nearly 20% of the package dependencies the AI recommended didn't exist. 200,000 fake package names.
20%. But if the package doesn't exist, the install just fails, right? Where's the attack?
The attack is that someone registers that fake name before you try to install it. A security researcher proved this. They registered a package called Hugging Face CLI, a name that AI tools commonly hallucinate. Within 3 months, over 30,000 people had downloaded it. If that package had contained malware instead of a proof of concept, 30,000 development environments would have been compromised.
Right, and the AI keeps suggesting the same fake names.
43% of the hallucinated names appeared repeatedly across different queries. They're not random. They're predictable. An attacker can study which fake names the popular AI models suggest, register them on package registries like PyPI or NPM. Those are the central repositories where Python and JavaScript libraries are published, and wait for developers to follow the AI's instructions.
Yeah, that's clever. Disturbingly clever. What about beyond the fake packages? What about the code itself?
A separate study looked at over 100,000 dependency changes and found that AI agents choose vulnerable versions of real packages more often than human developers do. Humans reduced net vulnerabilities by over 1,300. AI agents increased them by almost 100. And the code patterns are concerning too. Missing input validation on API endpoints, which we covered back in episodes 7 and 8. Hard-coded API keys in generated code. Overly permissive security headers. Default credentials left in scaffolded projects. The AI generates it, the developer glances at it, it looks reasonable, they ship it.
And what about the full auto scenario, where the AI writes the code, writes the tests, and deploys it, all without a human looking at it?
That's the configuration that keeps me up at night, because the AI writes both the code and the tests. If the AI creates an authentication bypass, some subtle flaw where certain requests skip the login check, it's also going to write tests that don't test for that bypass. The tests pass because the same blind spot that caused the bug also shaped the tests. You get a green check mark on a pipeline that just deployed a security hole.
So the tests are only as good as the model's understanding of what could go wrong.
Exactly. And for legal SaaS, if your contract analysis tool handles privileged attorney-client communications, deploying code without human security review creates a real problem under ABA Model Rule 1.6c. That's the rule requiring reasonable efforts to protect client information. The AI wrote it and the AI's own test passed. Is not going to satisfy a regulator asking what you did to prevent a breach.
So what does a safe workflow look like when you're using AI to write code?
First, lock your dependency sources. Set up a private registry of approved packages. Configure your package manager so it can only install from that registry. When the AI suggests a package, it has to exist in your approved list. This kills slob squatting completely. The AI can hallucinate all it wants. If the package isn't in your registry, it can't be installed.
Right. What about the code itself?
Define security critical paths in your codebase. Authentication, authorization, encryption, anything that touches client data. Require human review for changes to those paths, no matter who or what wrote the code. Then, and this is important, have the AI write security tests, but also have a human write independent security tests. If the human-written tests catch things the AI-written tests missed, you found the gap. You've measured how much the AI doesn't know about security.
Yeah, two sets of tests from two different sources.
And sandbox the agent's workspace. The AI should never have access to production credentials, SSH keys, environment files, or deployment secrets during development. If a malicious instruction is hidden in a repository file or a package description, and researchers have documented exactly this kind of attack, the agent shouldn't be able to reach anything valuable even if it's tricked into executing something.
And then static analysis on top of all of that.
Always. Run SaaS tools. That's static application security testing. Automated scanners that examine code for vulnerabilities without running it. On every pull request. SendBrief, CodeQL, whatever your team uses. AI-generated code should get the same automated scrutiny as human code. Arguably more, because the AI won't push back when you tell it to fix something.
So to put it plainly, treat AI-generated code like code from an untrusted contractor who can't explain their reasoning.
That's the right mental model. The AI is a tool, not a developer. It produces a first draft. Humans own the final version. For legal tech, the standard isn't, does the code work? It's, can we demonstrate we verified this code meets security requirements before it touched client data? The AI helps you build faster. Verification is what keeps your clients safe.
Next episode, Day 0, bootstrapping security for a brand new project from the very first commit.
Until then, I'm Alice.
And I'm Dan.
Security for Legal SaaS is a series written with AI assistants. Alice and Dan are AI-generated voices. No professional advice here, just education.